March is about leprechauns, rainbows, and all things whimsical. A children's storybook is just about all you need to celebrate that. Diane Etherington from the Children's Hour Bookstore is here to share a few St. Patrick's Day picture books. It's so good to see you, Diane.
Good to see you too.
It's been a minute. We're glad you're here.
Oh.
And I was telling Diane, thanks in part to your fabulous recommendations over the years, I feel like my family library is fairly robust, but when it comes to St. Patrick's Day, that's a hard niche to fill sometimes or to find.
Well, unless you're Irish,
you
probably don't care too much about it. But I do know people who go to great lengths to do, green scrambled eggs and stuff like that.
Sure,
and so,
sure.
So it's nice to have some books about it. And it's nice to actually learn a little bit about it,
a little
too.
celebratory story.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
jump into your list. First,
Okay.
Bob.
Okay, this is not a picture book, but it does have pictures in it. But I have to say, this book has made such a difference in my life with my grandchildren. It is just the cutest story about a little girl who goes to visit her grandmother in Australia and finds this green, unusual creature that she has to keep secret because if anybody knew about it, they'd do something, take him away.
Right.
So when he's lost his family and she's trying to help him find it and find where he belongs, and it is just the most hilarious story in the first place, and also very, very, very funny.
What age recommendation are you
to
putting
read
on this?
themselves, probably 7 or 8 and
Okay.
up. But I recommend reading it aloud as a family because you will all just be laughing.
How fun, how fun. All right, what's this?
Okay, this one is Bloom.
Beautiful
okay.
cover.
Isn't this a beautiful cover?
Oh, that's so
yes,
pretty.
One of my favorite authors, David Small. This is the story of a very powerful fairy named Bloom.
Okay.
And she lives in a town that has a glass castle. Now, you can imagine, glass castles are pretty hard to keep clean.
Well, sure.
And she is all about mud. She loves mud. Mud is her thing.
Okay.
And that's how she does her magic. And so they get rid of her. They tell her she has to leave because she's just too dirty to be there.
In the glass castle.
And then the glass castle shatters.
Oh.
And then they need her. And of course, because she's got the mud. So what is she going to do?
She's going to build the castle.
Out of
Mud.
and bricks.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a
Cute.
great story about the worth of every
Yeah, about gifts and inclusion. That's the illustration.
ordinary people.
So magical.
Okay, this one is Jamie O'Rourke and the puka. Now this is one that you can learn something about. I didn't know. Pukas are these restless characters who end up having to go to the next world without having finished, being lazy and just haven't made a big, they haven't done much.
They have unfinished business.
Yes, and so this is the story of a puka who comes to this man's house and is cleaning up and cleaning up and cleaning up all the time. And of course, he never thanks him or anything. He's always got this really kind of gruff look on his face. Finally, Jamie O'Rourke gives him an old coat because he feels kind of sorry for him. And that's the magic. He leaves and never comes back because somebody appreciated him.
Oh, kind of still feels like a spin on the shoemaker and the elves
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
with
a little
that.
bit, yep.
You give them a token, they feel
it's true.
appreciated, and his work is done. Cute.
Okay, this one, I think, this is a story about what happens when a leprechaun comes to school.
Uh-oh.
And this is also the school that the gingerbread man goes to. So he's got his vibe as well.
Okay.
And he makes a huge mess. And he tells everyone, I've come to make a mess. And he goes from room to room to room to room. Just,
I like that he announces his
oh,
destruction.
no, that's what they do. I guess that's what leprechauns do.
Yeah,
They're kind of
yeah.
naughty. So this is the story how between the leprechaun and the gingerbread man, who's going to come out on top.
How funny.
Yeah.
What a fun pairing of characters that I wouldn't think to
No,
put
I
together
wouldn't
in the
either.
same story.
Very interesting.
All right, The Boy and the Egg.
Okay, The Boy and the Egg is about a boy who finds an egg. I mean, wouldn't it be fun to find this really fabulous little egg, and it's warm, and so he's carrying it with him every place he goes, and wants to make sure that whatever comes out, he doesn't know what's coming out of it. So the book is all about his thinking about what might be in this egg, and then of course in the end there's a great surprise. What's there?
Are you going to tell us?
No.
Oh, Diane! I might have to do a page peek during commercial break.
No, I'm not
That
gonna
was
tell
a
you.
good tease.
Okay, well there's a.
Oh, it's a fun someone. Hold it back up. We gotta just, come on, wait, camera, please. Hello. That book will take you on a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Let's
right,
see.
Fiona's Lace.
Oh, this is such a lovely book.
It looks lovely.
Patricia Polacco has such a rich life. I mean, she has she's Irish, she's Russian, she has all of this ancestry, and this one is on her Irish side and about a family that has to leave Ireland because of the famine, and they end up coming to America. And it's tough, and I love this book because it goes through, it's a true story about her great-grandmother.
Wow.
So, whose name was Fiona, and was an amazing lace maker, thank heavens, because when they get to America, they can't make it. I mean, it's just everyone's so poor, and they're living in these tenements, and her lace is the thing that saves the family.
So a story of redemption with history dripping in.
Yes, exactly, and just how a young person can make all the difference in the world.
Oh, I love that. All right, tell us about the giant golden book of elves.
It's so giant, I'm not going to pick it up.
It looks big.
It is really big. This was published in 1951, so this is an old
Okay,
book.
those drawings are taking me back
No.
right now. I'm having a moment.
No, the drawings are wonderful, and it's filled with poems and with stories, and some stories are longer than the other ones, and they're just lovely, and they're things that probably people have never ever read before. There's nothing in here that is like normal. I mean, that you would know about.
Yes.
These are things that are old.
I'm having a moment like I think my grandma had this book.
She might have had that book.
That's the moment I'm having. Like I've seen those faces and those characters before.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
sweet.
she might have had it.
Very sweet. Okay, and finally you've got a bonus for us.
Oh, this is my bonus book. I love this little book.
What is it?
St. Patrick's Day in the Morning.
Oh!
This is for those kids that are the youngest one in the family, and nobody thinks they can do anything, and it makes them, and they get really frustrated because
Yes.
they're. Anyway, this is St. Patrick's Day. He's not allowed to walk in the parade with his two brothers and his father because he's too little, and he might not make it to the top, and that would be embarrassing. So he gets up like at 5 o'clock in the morning with his dog.
Look at that.
Puts on all the stuff that is his
Cutest.
brother's and hikes all the way up this hill. And people are so nice; they give him breakfast along the way. And
Oh my goodness.
and he puts a little pop bottle with a shamrock in it on the stage so that people will know that he was there, and then goes back home again, and they never know.
Diane, we love
I know.
your love for literature, and you
Well,
have a
thank you.
way of just describing these stories in such magical terms. So thank you. These books and many more are available at your bookstore. Where can we visit?
We're on the corner of 9th South and 9th East. in
Charming,
Salt Lake
darling
City.
store, worth the destination. So put it on your Saturday to-do list. Thank you so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, and to you.
And you wore green.
I did.
Very
I
appropriate.
found a green thing.
We're getting ahead.